Stop rocking. It's gonna be like it's like those 3D movies. Just bubs, but it's like those 3D movies where they go like, oh yeah, like someone's falling and then like they get super close and then they go flying around to make it so that way your 3D ticket purchase was justified. Yeah. Yo guys, what's up? 7stop here. Welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be talking about the greatest game ever made. Once again, this is our second video on Halo 4. Oh boy. So we recently replayed Halo 4's campaign. So this video is going to be mainly about the campaign. Yeah. We recently replayed Halo 4's campaign on Heroic. And all the Halo games. Oh, all the Halo games. So we have Heroic. We in a row. So we have a metric to prep for Halo Infinite, but we know how that worked out. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, we played through all the Halo games. So yeah, when we got to Halo 4, I was like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it because I played through it twice. I didn't remember, because I played through it a long time ago. I didn't remember how bad it was. Even though I remembered specific sections being really bad, I didn't remember how bad it was as a whole. I was just like, oh, those parts are bad. But maybe the rest is you can endure it. It's bearable, yeah. It's bearable, yeah. But then we played it, and it was like torture. It was awful. Samuel rage quit on the last mission. I did. Which we'll get to that part, but yeah, we started. All right, so first mission, we're like, wow, this isn't that bad. Yeah, it's decent. I'm surprised. I mean, it's not Halo, and there's sprint, and like I forget that sprint existed. And yeah, I thought it was, I was like, okay, this is a fine mission. I'm running around shooting the Covenant, even though they don't look like the Covenant, and they're bulky elites, and then they're the bubbly boyo grunts. The bubbly boyo grunts. And then, yeah, we finished it. We were like, okay, hey. And that's the mission Dawn, where you're on the ship. Yeah, and we're like, it's pretty interesting with the ship. Even though the art style change is pretty jarring. Their Quicktime events are climbing up like this one side of the ship. And there's the weird cutscene at the beginning that has no relevance to the story. And even though it's decent, it's like, it just doesn't have any point. Yeah. So why is it there? Halo 5 has that same thing at the beginning. And it's really weird. But, yeah, then the game starts and you wake up. You wake up as Master Chief and you see Cortana with big boobs. And then you start playing. You get out of your chamber and you play the game. Yeah, I don't know why they decided to anime Cortana. Cortana. They made Cortana into an anime character. Yeah. They decided just like boobs. They give her, the fan service was at maximum Cortana fan service. Maximum Cortana fan service. And then yeah, the game again, I said it was fine. I mean, there was really weird Quicktime events. Like you got to the one part of the ship and you'd like climb up. And you hold, and you push the left stick forward and you press B and you... The Quicktime events are mega jarring. And also there's the climbing section where you have like no control over your character. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. And you literally just press like up on the left stick and then he starts climbing up and it's like, oh no, you gotta move to the other side, press left, right on the And just in general, enemies are way less fun to fight. Yeah, they're just kind of going around. Yeah, and then the next mission. There's a decent like section at the end where you fly down from space or whatever. It looks neat. It's kind of weird to see that in a Halo game, but it's still neat. It's not terrible. And also the low gravity section is kind of interesting, but it's a little bit irritating. Anyway, yeah, next mission, Requiem. This is the start of the badness. Even though the first part seems pretty promising, with you get. I mean, the story isn't, but you get in the Warthog and there's that big open area. You just kind of drive around and then you get to the part with the Prometheans. That's when it goes down. That's when it, oh boy. And so then, yeah, you're introduced to those Prometheans. And yeah, they're awful. They were worse than we remember. The bloom on the weapons is so insane in the membrane. But it's so insane that it was really, really, really hard to kill the knights, kill anything. Like you're just constantly scavenging Is that the ammo. Mission where the Forerunners get introduced, or is it the next one named Forerunner? I'm pretty sure these two missions are. We're looking at Forerunners, the god awful mission where you repeat that segment over and over again. Let me see. We're looking at the greatest website ever right now.
IGN.
Never mind. This is this god-awful part where you have to press those buttons. Remember, you have to press those 3 buttons, and then the enemies spawn, and they just wreck you.
Okay, so yeah, never mind. That was the wrong mission.
And there's that Banshee section, which is kind of odd. But this whole mission, after the first part, is just a linear corridor.
Yeah, that's the thing
that's
we noticed
all of
with Halo.
The Halo 4 missions.
Yeah, that's the thing we noticed, especially on our second playthrough, was that it was a lot more linear than we remembered.
There's a hunter battle as well that's like, it takes
Hunters
forever.
Are barely in it, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
But, there's only, just 6 enemies that I remember. I'm sure there's probably, 9 or
in the whole game.
But yeah, in the whole game. You just fight, elites, grunts, jackals. That's pretty much it. And then you fight maybe some hunters. And then you fight the Prometheans, the flying ones, the knights.
Yeah, Forerunner's the one where they get revealed, the knights and
but
the
still,
Prometheans.
the knights, the floaty ones that revive the knights. Mm-hmm. And then the ones that are dog-like. Those are, the 6 main enemies.
The crawlers.
Mm-hmm. But,
and the Watchers are the flying guys.
Yeah. So, yeah, on Mission 2, you drive the Warthog. It's super linear. You fight Covenant. It's really linear.
Really linear. And there's this section with Banshee where you are walking down this, it's so insanely linear. It's just a straight line. You're just walking down a straight line while Banshees shoot you.
And the Covenant are not fun to fight in linear corridors, okay?
I mean, they're not really that fun to fight in this game anyway.
Yeah.
But at least they're a little bit better than the Prometheans.
Mm-hmm, but still, they're just down linear corridors, and so they're all the encounters feel pretty much the same. Whereas in Halo, 3, Halo 2, and all these other missions, you, distinctly remember certain sections of vast areas, in the Covenant at the very beginning of the mission. The Covenant, you could choose which direction you want to go, and there's the shade turrets, and then there's the AA Wraith, and then you go along to this huge valley.
Yeah, that open area with the Wraith and stuff.
Yeah, with the Wraith, and there's tons of enemies down there, and it's a nice big open area. But in this game, it's just linear corridors all the way through, with tons of Quicktime event buttons.
Yeah.
Where you gotta go up to the button and go ahead and press your thumb against the pad, and there you go.
Oh yeah, 343 was so they loved their button animation so much that they had to put in constantly in every mission.
And the Cortana.
There's so many buttons. Halo 4's gameplay is pressing buttons and just quick time events.
Going over to stations, pulling out Cortana.
And putting Cortana and stuff. All of the objectives are so similar. It's press 3 buttons, insert Cortana into a station.
Do these 3 things. This game follows the rule of 3 a lot. The rule of 3 is heavy in this game. In the next mission, which we'll move on to the next mission, which I talked about earlier, is very much has the rule of 3. There are these 3 orbs that you have to go to. And you have to shoot them or whatever.
You have to shoot the 3 orbs.
But it was so infuriating because the Knights and the Prometheans are super annoying.
I hate this. I actually am just realizing how much I hate every mission in this game.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So
Forerunner,
so also the story. We'll just talk about that briefly. Our focus is the gameplay, but the story is it. I don't really see why people love it so much.
Me neither.
There's so many defenders of it. It's decent at best.
It is really just
pretty mediocre. The Didact we'll get to later is one of the worst villains I've seen in a game.
He
and
is,
I'm sure he's epic in the lore. I know he's epic in the lore.
I know he's amazing.
But the thing is, this is the game where they don't explain anything. And they have that god-awful cutscene.
The library
cutscene.
The Craigbarian.
The Craigbarian.
You're going to need to put that up. But anyway, the library cutscene. But Cortana and Chief, there's some good lines, but other than that, it's pretty much just Cortana.
Lasky's pretty much the only likable character.
Yeah, but other than that, it's pretty much just Chief is oh, I don't believe you're going rampant. We'll fix you. Cortana's no, I am. And then later on, he's trust me, we'll fix you. And she's no, I am. And then she's hey, later on, he's don't worry, I can't go on without you. And then she's you can.
And Cortana's just kind of annoying and acting like a you-know-what constantly. And it's just really annoying.
And she's just constantly getting really angry. And then every once in a while, she's oh, I'm sorry, Chief. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I couldn't keep it together. And then Chief's it's okay, we'll fix you.
Yeah.
And then Lasky is likable. He's pretty much the only
still not a
character.
top tier character, but
No.
at least it's something.
And then there's Palmer. She literally I think has 2 or 3 lines of dialogue. That's it.
And they're just insults or like just nothing, like exposition or insults.
And then there's Del Rio. He's not likable from the start. Like the Act Man pointed out, like how
they just randomly get rid of him at the end.
Yeah, they do. But still, like the Act Man pointed out, how come like the entire UNSC completely forgot Master Chief, the savior of humanity, 1, 2, 3 times, 3 or 4 times, something like that. And he like deactivated the rings. He saved the entire like planet. Like in Halo Wars 2, at the beginning, like Isabel, the AI that they pick up, she's like, "Oh man, Master Chief saves us all," and they're like, "Yo, that's awesome, Master Chief." And then in this game, they're like, "I am ordering you to surrender the AI," and stuff like that.
And just from the very beginning, he's just like such a jerk to Chief for no reason.
Yeah, he's not like
contrived conflict.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then there's that's all the characters. There are like there's like 4 characters. And then as we pointed out in our other Halo 4 video, like there's nothing to remind me of the previous games. Like there's no characters that like have any relevance besides obviously Chief of Cortana, but there's there's no Johnson, there's nobody like that, so it feels really disconnected and disjointed.
And the characters we do know act completely different.
Like Chief has way more lines, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's just like that's how he acts in the books, but these are the games. Like I'm not used to Chief all the time going like, "Oh, we need to blah blah, we need to do blah blah blah. Don't worry, we'll fix you. We'll fix you. We'll fix you. Oh, Halsey, fix you. Oh, we'll fix you," and stuff like that. It gets really annoying. All right, so back to the mission Forerunner. Yeah, it's really bad.
You repeat or go through extremely similar sort of environments over and over and over. I mean, not over and over and over, but 3 times. The mission, you go through these same areas 3 times. The rule of 3, you got to go push the 3 things in this mission. Because you got to stop some laser that's blocking communications. And you got to fight, and this is when you destroy the 3 orbs in the 3 areas that are repeated.
Yes, they're repeated. And the enemies are awful. The Prometheans are not good. The weapons that they have are super annoying, and every time you pick it up, you have to watch a stupid animation. And since you're running out of ammo constantly...
Although technically you can cancel the animation, but it doesn't make that clear to you.
Yeah, but constantly run over, pick up a new weapon, and the Chief will be like, "Oh, look at how magnetic and generic it is." They went full on generic with everything. They were like, "Oh yeah, we want to make everything so awesomely generic. We're just gonna make it neon and floaty."
Yes,
that's the ultimate generic futuristic.
When you can't think of what things might be like in the future, neon floaty bits.
That's it. So and then the Bloom, is insane. They do like so little damage.
On the automatics, the Bloom is insane.
Yeah, but they do so little damage, and like the
But the thing is, Actman brought this up on Legendary and Heroic. You constantly run out of ammo, and you have to pick up these worthless weapons. You
like
spawn
the suppressor.
You spawn in with a good weapon or a decent weapon, but you lose it so quick because you have to pick up a suppressor or the most dreaded one, a storm rifle.
A storm rifle. Oh my gosh, the Bloom on that thing it's literally useless. Half of the weapons in this game are useless.
Yeah.
And when going to finally confront the Didact and stuff like that, you also go through like this linear corridor.
This is the mission where you also confront the Didact.
But
after you push the 3 lasers.
Hooray! And then you walk through this like really linear area, and the enemies are bullet sponges. Like the knights are so bullet spongy. Like,
and
you
the
just
Watchers
shoot them.
can resurrect them.
Like in Halo 3, all the other games, even in Infinite, like when you shoot things, like stuff breaks off of them. You notice different changes and stuff like that, and like you shoot off their helmet and they like recoil. But in this game, when you shoot anything, they don't recoil. They just kind of
there's no effect. They just take the shots.
And the knights, they teleport.
This is about the Prometheans.
Yeah, and the knights, they teleport behind you like randomly. There's no clear indicator on whether or not they're going to teleport.
There's no indication on where they're gonna teleport. They should have had like a light come out of the ground or something that would tell you where they're coming from before they come up behind you and shoot you with a scatter shot.
Yeah, they're so annoying. And then, the crawlers are, you shoot them in the head and they explode, but other than that, again, they're just kind of bullet sponges. And the floaty guys, they just kind of die.
And the section with the Didact, like right before you confront him, is mind-numbingly linear. It's like that mission, the breaking in Halo 5. You just go down this corridor of, like, shiny metal, and there's, like, some guys, and he shoots a gun at you, and then you kill it. And then you fight, and then you meet the Didact.
Hooray! So phased the great harvest of my betrayal. Even these beasts recognize what you were oblivious to, human. Your nobility has blinded you as ever. The Librarian left little to chance, didn't she? Turning my own guardians, my own world, against me. But what hubris to believe she could protect her pets from these forever. If you haven't mastered these primitives, that man has not attained to the mantle. Your ascendance may yet be prevented. Time was your ally, human, but now it has abandoned you. The Forerunners have returned. This tomb is now yours.
That's pretty much his dialogue in a whole, captured right there. It's just a bunch of jargon and meaningless words, or they probably do have a meaning, but it's in a book or a comic, and just all these random words that make no sense to the game.
Do you truly believe that these theatrics can prevent my departure? Embrace your sad
He's just
fate
a standard
and
villain
retain your nobility.
who talks in like super complicated prose and is like trying to sound super smart, but it's just dumb.
But yeah, it just sounds stupid. Like, you will relent, human, or you will perish. All is life choice, and your day to choose has come. You impress me, human. Your singular valor will be preserved and studied once your composition has been completed. Yeah, it's so generic, and it's like that one scene with the architect in the Matrix. Your life is the math equation. Blah, blah, blah,
yeah,
blah.
just a bunch of jargon that makes no sense.
A bunch of random lines that make no sense, and words that
They're
sound
supposed
really
to sound
complicated.
cool when you don't think about it.
I sense your malfunctioning companion, human, and yet she eludes me.
What? Okay.
Yeah, but like it's so just generic, and he's trying to sound like, oh, I am above you, human, and stuff like that, but he just ends up sounding really stupid and generic. And he's also, because the Actman pointed this out, like, because he's just like so powerful, it can instantly kill you. It doesn't feel like Chief gets any better.
Powers.
He does. I love what the Actman. Can I just ask you this question? Why is the Didact a Sith Lord? A Sith Lord.
The thing that doesn't make sense is that why does he not kill the Chief when he can do it at any time? Why? He has no motivation to not kill the Chief.
Oh, I know.
Why not just get rid of his opponent?
There actually is a really good logical explanation, so he could spew more dialogue.
Yes, exactly.
Even you, the mantle of responsibility,
yes.
Your nobility has blinded.
He needs to lecture the protagonist like a Bond villain. Giving him just enough time to escape.
Giving him just enough time for Cortana to come up.
Yes, I'm going to bring down all these rocks on you, and while you're fleeing in a ghost, I'm going to like destroy this whole planet trying to kill you when I could just like use my force powers to lift you up and smash you or something.
But so speaking about that ghost part, it's pretty linear. You just kind of zoom your way through.
Yeah,
and
it's just a linear
you jump
path.
Over some stuff. It's like, I know this is really weird.
And for me, it was super weird and glitchy. Sometimes the screen would just keep shaking. Or, I don't know if that's the MCC or if that's just Halo 4. But there was some weird glitches associated with that.
Yeah, and even then, I know this sounds crazy, but in Call of Duty, a more linear, maybe not more linear than Halo 4, but more linear than like all the previous Halo games. Like there's that one section with the snowmobile, and while there are some linear parts, when you first get it in Modern Warfare 2, you like there's this nice open area and you could like swerve from side to side in the boat part while chasing.
But there's novelty to it because those are things that you can't do in regular gameplay. Like you can just drive a ghost anytime in Halo.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's not very unique. It's just like, oh, okay, I'm obviously just driving down this corridor, running away from a guy smashing rocks at me.
Yep. Oh man, we still have tons of missions
Infinity! Left. This is the forest mission.
This is actually... Alright, so moving on to Infinity. This is actually the best mission in the game. Now,
and we initially thought it was one of the worst.
Oh yeah, I remember it being one of the worst because of the defense section. But still, like, this is one of the best missions in the game. Not saying that it's a good mission. No, it's still probably like a 4 out of 10 mission. It's not good, but it's just better because, like, the forest environment's
maybe a 5
neat.
out of 10.
Yeah, the forest environment's kind of neat.
It looks good, but it's the most visually pleasing mission.
Some of the
and
enemies
there's a lot
are
of variance in environments. You go into the ship, you go on the top of the ship. There's a decent mantis section at the very end of using the mantis, like on the deck of the ship, when you have to get those weapons working or whatever.
Yeah, but even then, man, that endings part with the mantis, it's super linear.
It's still linear.
It's super... You're just walking down this hallway.
You just walk down a hallway until you finally get to something a little bit more open.
Maybe, like, make 1 or 2 turns, but other than that, yeah, it's extremely linear.
There are actually no diverging paths in that section. The only option is to continue going down that one hallway.
Yep, exactly. But yeah, it's not entirely bad. Even though we just trash on the enemies, it's kind of satisfying to kill them.
I can't have fun, but I can appease my boredom for a few minutes.
Yeah, like, obviously, like, killing the enemies isn't necessarily satisfying. It's just kind of nice to be like, oh, hey, I finally killed that enemy. But that's just basic game stuff, okay? Killing an enemy, praising a game for
the fact that you can kill enemies in it, pretty much.
That's pretty much the only good thing you do. But, all right, so, yeah, moving on to the next one, which is the one where you're on the mammoth.
Oh, yeah. Wait, remember when we were trying to do that linear section with the mantis? And it was like, you almost rage quit, I remember.
I did, because we had to restart so many times.
Oh, yeah, because it's like...
You had to restart the entire thing.
Yeah.
And you going so slow.
Yeah, because we didn't get a checkpoint at all on that linear section. And we beat the linear section. We go up to the top portion with the open area, and we died there. And we had to start all the way back at the beginning of the hallway and had to do that excruciating, boring section again.
Yeah, it's so bad.
It was like, it took all of my energy and effort to push through that, because I wanted to quit too when that happened, when we got sent back to that checkpoint.
Oh, and if you're thinking, oh, well, if you're sitting down in one sitting, like, because if you didn't know, like, if you sit down and play games and you get really angry, the more and more you play, the angrier you'll get.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we took breaks.
Yeah, we did.
And we still got this angry.
It didn't take long to get angry.
No, it didn't take long at all. But I was angry when I loaded up the mission. I just, when I spawned in, I was just like, I want to get everything.
I think seeing the Halo 4 loading screen makes you angry. It triggers some primordial sensation within your brain. It's like this horrific screen. I have to prime myself to be angry. The primeval.
The brain. I see the nobility of your... Even she eludes me. Why does he sound like a pervert?
I don't know.
Even she, the anime lady who you travel with, eludes me. Next mission. All right.
I want that epic Cortana boom.
Reclaimer. This is the one with the mammoth?
Is
the
this
mammoth?
No!
It
This
is.
mission!
Alright, anyway, guys, so this mission is absolute trash.
You ride a mammoth down a linear corridor, of course.
For 5 minutes, basically, and you do nothing.
And you just sit there. For most of the ride, you do nothing. You just sit there and watch.
1 or 2 groups of enemies, but even your friends take them out. And then
sometimes the objectives are really confusing when you jump off. So there's points where you jump off of the mammoth, and you have to go destroy something or use your target locator to mark a target or something like that. And these sections, they're the better part of the mission. At least something is happening other than on the mammoth. And they're decent. They're a little bit more open than what you'd usually expect from this game.
But it's still, that's just all this mission is. You just go from a mammoth and like you jump off, you go to this one section, and
excruciating pain, just boredom on this mantis, and then you finally do something, and then you have to get back on the mantis,
the mammoth.
And sometimes it's really confusing once you kill all the guys. Sometimes I didn't really know where I was supposed to go, and I was actually supposed to board the mantis, even though the only indication was a tiny doorway on the side.
And there are actually tons of invisible walls.
Oh, yeah.
As well. The invisible walls were rampant. Just like Cortana. Anime Tana. That's her name, Anime Tana. But all right, so yeah, then we moved on to the next mission, which I'm pretty sure that's the one with like the space.
Oh yeah,
station.
Space Station shutdown. No, this is not the space station. No!
Oh! Hooray!
This mission shutdown is probably one of the worst missions in video game history.
Yep, it definitely is.
I despise this mission to no end.
Yep. All right, so you start off, you're like, yo, I finally get to pilot a Pelican? Yo, this is gonna be awesome. But then you get in and you realize that Halo 4 has this massive issue where whenever you turn,
it's like it's super floaty when you're in the Pelican.
And like when you stop, like it has to do the thing where it's like whoa and swivels forward and then comes back. It's
some of the other vehicles like the tank have that. I think the Mantis does a little bit.
It's supposed to replicate like the weight of something. Like stopping it requires force, but I don't care.
It doesn't work. It's so annoying.
And you just like
and you have to lead these bullets. It looks like it's broken when you're sitting in the co-pilot.
Because your character, but yeah, you have to lead your shots and like you get insta-wrecked. Like you are like a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Which is accurate to the lore, but I don't care. These are the games. But make the games fair.
It's frustrating. Basically, the only viable strategy when you're using the Pelican is to wait at long range, just shoot, and your gun overheats super fast too, and just shoot and try to lead your shots so that you can hit the guys before they engage you. Because of the floaty aim and leading the shots, once they engage you, you're pretty much just screwed.
Yeah, and then it's also another rule of freaking 3.
Yeah,
you have to
you land your Pelican.
Land. Okay.
I'm pretty sure once landing the Pelican, we destroyed it or something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But still, you land it.
You land it.
And then this is the worst part of the mission.
And it sounds like already worst mission ever. But no, it gets worse.
You jump on this gondola thing. And then you ride it while enemies jump on. And then you have to stop, go press these buttons, get back on. And these enemies are so frustrating. Like, I can't even put into words how frustrating it is. If you want to taste some of this, you can go ahead and go play it.
I literally started crying at
We
one
did.
point.
We both started crying when we had
because it was so bad.
Because we died.
Had a nervous breakdown.
Yeah, we did. We ascended time and space with something this horribly bad. We ascended. We ascended to a plane where good or bad doesn't exist.
It was like we got to the end of this section where you're on this gondola and you have to get off. We finally got to the end. And at the very end we died and had to redo the most recent part again. And it was like the straw that broke the camel's back for us.
It was.
We were like laughing, crying, and like just we couldn't function anymore.
No, we couldn't. It was just awful. And then we made it back to the thing. And then the other two sections aren't the gondola, but they're pretty similar. You just walk down a linear corridor, shoot some Prometheans, and maybe a few Covenant, and then that's it. All right, now we move on to the space station mission, which is just look at what we said about Dawn and just apply it to there. It's just mission. Just copy to paste.
It's better than the last mission.
Oh, yeah, way better.
But it's saying something's better than complete garbage is not a compliment.
That's not a compliment.
But yeah, there's some decent parts with like scripted sections, and then there's the part where you I think it's near the beginning actually. You the part on the docks where you fight those guys that are coming in. It's decent.
Yeah, it's fine. And we should go back to the story real quick. The story, there are some good lines throughout. Like, there are some really good lines throughout, but it's super rare. Like, for example, Lasky is like, oh yeah, I suppose you're already good at clearing LZs, and then Chief goes, on occasion. Like, that one's good. And then, like, the lady on, like, the space station is like, next time, would you give us time to pack? And then he goes, next time. Like, it's good, but still, like, the entire story can't be supported by a few good lines throughout. Like, you can't support an entire house with a brick underneath it.
Yeah. And yeah, this is the story. What even happened in the story up to this point? They drove the Didact away.
The Didact got the composer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he got the composer.
We did have the Librarian cutscene, which we'll get to that.
No. He didn't get to the composer, right? Because he uses that on the space station, and that's what we're talking about now.
But we did get to the Librarian cutscene, which we should talk about that. Okay. We should finish the missions, and then we'll come back to the story. All right. So next mission. What's the next mission? Bring it up.
Wait. We need to talk about the space station mission some more because we didn't really elaborate much.
Near the end,
this is where the Didact grabs the composer. Mm-hmm. There's a good cutscene at the end. It's probably the best cutscene in the game, and also there's a decent section with the mantis walking around, but it's really short and barely anything.
It's an open area, which is nice. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's
but
just
otherwise,
an open area.
Pretty much what we said applies. Boring enemies, linear corridors, unfun gameplay.
Yeah, it's really hard to describe, so you should just go play a random mission.
I think we've been describing it rather adequately.
Yeah, that's true about how painfully bad it is, but you only get the true Halo 4 experience
by actually playing it. Play it on Legendary or Heroic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we played it on Heroic. Oh, I'm sure on Normal it's easier, but just because I make it game easier...
Yeah, I played it on Easy the first time, so that was probably a contributing factor to why I didn't think it was as bad.
But still, playing it on an easier difficulty doesn't make it... Oh man, like, you said you guys are playing on Heroic. Oh, that's not the correct difficulty. They intended you to play it on Normal. Every difficulty should be viable, okay?
Yeah. So I think that Heroic is the canon difficulty.
It is. Halo 3 established that. Halo 3 established that. Halo 3 literally says
it's the way the game is meant to be played.
Yes, this is canon. But all right, next mission, which is the one where you get to fly a whatchamacallit. This is the final mission, by the way.
The final wait
a second.
Is this because that's it is.
Composer.
It's right after Composer, which is the mission. Shutdown is the awful mission. Composer is the one
with the space station.
With space station, and then episode 8,
episode 8,
or mission 8, Midnight, is where this is also one of the worst missions I've ever played. So
you start out with a flying thing. I forget what it's called. But guess what? You get to go through linear corridors. You fly your way through these little sections. It's fine. I don't know. I
think it's bad. It's really bad. I mean, for me, it was horrible because I was not host and there was lag, and so I was lagging like all over the place, and it was horrific.
And I did it normally and stuff like that. It wasn't.
The controls are decent on the thing, but it can be really frustrating where you hit something and then you just explode even though you tapped it.
Collision is awful. I think collision in games where you instantly die is really bad.
Yeah.
But all right, so. Yeah, then after that, you get to this one section where, hooray, you get to destroy 3 orbs. But then you land, and then you get into the little station, and then you get to do this one section where I quit the game. So you sit there.
You go through these... Wait, first, before this section, you go through these linear corridors and suffer, and
press a few part where you quit...
this is the part where you have to go through those portals as well. And it's terrible.
That's near the end, though.
Mm-hmm. But still. You rage quit after the portals. Because we went through the portals, and then there's that section where you get weapons, and then you go through another portal, and that's where you fight all the crawlers.
So basically, you take Animatana, you stick her into the little thingy, and she's like, oh no, obligatory, I need you to protect me while I do this thing. For a certain amount of time. And so then, you literally only fight crawlers for 5 minutes.
Yes. Only crawlers. And then at the very end, you have to make a run through this a linear corridor.
With hundreds of them.
Yeah, they just spawn loads and loads of crawlers.
So, what happened was we did that section.
First time I was playing this section, I genuinely thought it was broken. Mm-hmm. I thought the game glitched or something, and it was infinitely spawning enemies.
Nope. That's how it's meant to be.
That's the game. And we died the first time through. We died on this part where they spawn all those crawlers, and that's when Sam raged.
It was at the very end. We were supposed to run through this portal, and then we died, and then I just couldn't take it. I had to end the mission. Yeah. I could not mentally take it.
He was breaking down.
It was awful.
But then I convinced him that we should just finish it now. But we had to play the whole mission up to that point again.
Mm-hmm, but we did it. We survived. We have a few scars still, but we were able to make it. And then there's this one section where the Didact every once in a while just kind of is like, as you take Animatana and plug her into stuff and she multiplies.
Where Cortana multiplies and you go to those different platforms. I hate that part.
Yeah, Anime Tana multiplies, so she
I
can
don't know
take
what
out
else
the
we can
Didact.
say. It's so bad. There's nothing else to say. Bad. It's horrible.
And then you get to finally go to the bridge. You're sprinting. You're like, Anime Tana's like, oh shoot, Chief, you have to hurry. It's gonna explode. Run! And you're like, oh shoot, and the music's going.
You're sprinting in the game, and then you're walking in the cutscene.
Yeah, and and then you're just walking, and then Didact comes down. Could easily kill you at any second, but he still doesn't. He has more time.
He's got a monologue while he lifts you out over the composer lasers.
And then Anime Tana comes out, and then this is when we'll get into the story. All right, we finished up with the gameplay. Now we get into the story. So as we already kind of mentioned some stuff, but throughout the game, it's just kind of it's really pointless. Like there's so many pointless things. Like that one mission, like you have to stop the Didact from getting to Composer, but you go to a space station. You have to help out these humans on the space station, and then you the mission with Lasky. You're just clearing LZs. Like there's no weight to it. Like in Halo 3, you're taking out stuff on the Ark. Like this is the Ark, okay? You gotta go find the cartographer and stuff like that. But yeah, it's all so forgettable. The story, like I don't remember pretty much like anything. Like, it's
it's pretty much the most 5 out of 10 story imaginable, or maybe even less. I don't know.
Yeah, but we have yet to get to one of the worst cutscenes in gaming, the Librarian cutscene.
Yeah, we're gonna do a story recap now. So yeah, the Librarian cutscene where she explains stuff. It just made no sense at all. It is
awful.
I mean, to me, even and Sam, who know about the lore and stuff, it still barely made any sense.
Like she just spews all this exposition.
It's like one of those scenes in anime where the subtitles are super long and like zooming by fast, and you have to replay it. Except this is a game, so you can't replay it to figure out what was going on. And even if you did, it probably still wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, and like she's telling stuff out of order, and it ends up she's actually dead, and this is a vision, and then the Master Chief has this Gene song that makes him immobile.
And it's not really. It's like she's placed the Gene song in all of humanity or something, and she wanted humanity's evolution to help them obtain the mantle or something like that. What even is the mantle?
It just took so
I've been following Halo for like 4 years, and I still don't know what the mantle is.
Yes, we know it's the mantle to control the universe, but what does that entail?
What does it actually mean? Is it a physical thing? Is it a conceptual thing? What is it?
I don't want to have to go read all the Forerunner trilogy of books to understand a game! So basically, so you're on the bridge with the Didact, and then you go ahead and you take a grenade and you press right trigger to fire a machine gun.
If you're playing the MCC.
But anyway, you take a grenade, you stick it in his chest, he blows up, he falls over, doesn't die for some reason. And then you blow up the nuke, and then Anime Tana comes out, and she
somehow...
We did it.
Somehow an artificial intelligence manipulates time and space to protect you in this box, but you were holding the bomb in your hand, and it exploded in your hand. So how did she separate the explosion from you? Whatever. And then there's a strangely romantic scene or something.
And then she comes over and she like puts her hand on his chest and she goes,
like, I want to grab your anime boobs.
Yeah, she touches Chief's chest and she goes, oh, I've wanted to do that. And it's like, okay then.
Yeah. But the next scene's decent, and we got the part with him on the deck with Lasky. It's good.
And
then we have the really bad ending with the Didact monologuing about a bunch of nonsense.
And then
the reclamation has begun!
And then he just walks along, and then Palmer's like, wow, I'm staring at him. And then the Chief's like, whoa. She's like Cortana. And then he goes and he gets to take off his helmet, and you see his quote unquote eyes, when in reality you really can't.
Yeah.
And then the game ends. Hooray!
Woo! Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed our extremely long rant. It's 40 minutes on the editing or the Audacity track here. I'm probably cut out some of the stuff at the beginning, but it's going to be a pretty epically long video of us ranting about Halo 4.
We already mentioned tons of stuff in our other video as well, but we needed to make this video because we replayed it.
Yeah.
Like, we just forgot how bad it was.
It's like the suffering we went through is unparalleled.
It is. It is.
It reminds me of ReZero.
It does.
Episode 16 of ReZero is how we felt playing this game.
Yeah, and it just...
They should use this game to... They should make criminals who have life sentences play this game every day.
Unendingly.
Yeah.
And speed run it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you may think, oh yeah, this game isn't it's all that bad. It's a hidden gem. No, it's not.
There's so much sentiment that's been going around, and like it's not as pronounced now, but back like a couple years ago, especially, there was this really huge sentiment about how Halo 4 was underrated and Halo 4 was way better than we remember, and it was really good, and the story's amazing. No, it's not.
Oh, and it's better than Halo 2. Yeah, no, that library cutscene literally makes it so that way that library cutscene literally makes the game worse than Halo, makes the story worse than Halo 2. I'm sorry.
Well, Halo 2 just, even without that, Halo 2 is incredibly, amazingly, like, just destroys Halo 4 in every way.
Yeah, every single line of dialogue in Halo 2 is great.
Characters are good. The writing is amazing.
We can talk about Halo 2 for hours, but, yeah, we just had to get this out
we almost talked about Halo 4 for an hour.
Yeah, but Halo 2 is, So yeah, this was our rambling about Halo 4. There was no structure to this. But we just needed to get this out.
We just recorded like a part that goes earlier, and I'm gonna have to put it back there.
But it's just we need to mention everything. I don't want to leave a thing out because this game, even though you may think, oh yeah, it's bad, but it's not that bad.
It's
so
bad.
Far. It's my least favorite game.
Yeah, it's my least favorite game of all time.
Probably not the worst.
It's not the worst game I've played, but it is my least favorite because this is coming from Halo.
Mm-hmm. But, remember 343 out Bungie.
According to IGN.
That's another video. Well, but anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video
and you want to subscribe,
press the button. Don't smash it. Why would you smash the like button?
Yeah,
You'll destroy your phone.
Don't break your phone or your keyboard or whatever.
Just tap it or click it or something like that. Click the subscribe button. Turn on the bell for notifications. And what you got to do, you got to put up the little animation of them doing it.
I know.
But anyway, yeah, thank you so much. Leave a comment why we're wrong. Bye.
Anyway, this was supposed to be the outro of the video, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, whatever. Who cares?
Tell us why we're idiots and be like, actually, Halo 4 is really good. Actually, you guys just don't understand
the emotional depth of Halo 4. Actually, we forgot to mention the last cutscene.
Okay, yeah.
Which has a good line.
Edit this
with
part.
The deck.
Yeah, edit this part and, like, put it back near the story section. Like, cut it out and then bring it back to the story section, okay?